Boxing truth here. Alright, I gotta talk about this Terence Crawford situation and how he's just getting a complete pass for vacating his IBF strap and ducking Sergey Lipnets. No criticism whatsoever. He got the undisputed showdown with Odongo. Was undisputed for about 5 minutes, which I told you was going to happen. So it was all kind of meaningless. He had 4 straps for about 11 days. And now all I'm hearing is that he was forced to vacate. He's doesn't have time to prepare for Sergey. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Crawford's not being forced to vacate. He has time to prepare for Sergey Lipnets. He's choosing to vacate his title willingly. Not even making one defense of being undisputed. Not even one defense. So is he really undisputed? Only for about 5 minutes, but they didn't even make one title defense with all the straps around his waist. So you really can't have him #1 pound for pound on your list, can you? He ain't undisputed no more. That part of the criteria is out the window. But Crawford has a choice. He can choose to go through with the mandatory, but Sergey Lipnets, their team is smart. They knew Crawford was going to drag his feet. Bob Arum, Top Rank, they were going to take their time. They were going to chill, think it over, and keep Lipnets waiting in the wings and wondering when the fight's going to happen. So Lipnets' team said, fuck that. No negotiations, which is their right. And they did it in order to get the best possible scenario, which is a purse bid, an immediate purse bid scheduled for August 31st. The fight was on August 19th between Crawford and Odongo, so he had 11 days to think it over of what he wants to do. So Lipnets, the reason why they're not negotiating is because they can get the fight immediately with an immediate purse bid. Put pressure on Top Rank, where they will have to bid against somebody else, which is Lipnets' promoter, Tom Brown, and he's affiliated with Al Heyman. So the reason why Crawford vacated is because Top Rank don't want to lose him to a purse bid. They will lose to rights to his next fight if they can't outbid the highest bidder. Crawford will have to fight on another network, a PBC platform most likely, if he went through with that fight. He will have to fight on Al Heyman's show and fight Sergey Lipnets in a different environment, not where Top Rank would want to fight. So this is not about not having time to prepare or Crawford being forced. He's not being forced to do anything. He has a choice. Fight Lipnets. Whether you win the purse bid or not, you still get 75% of the bid as champion. Or you could vacate and see what your next move is. But this is not about not having time to prepare. He's got plenty of time to prepare for Lipnets. This is about Bob Arum not losing Terence Crawford to another platform, or having another promoter having the rights to Crawford's next fight, as whoever wins that bid is going to be the promoter of that event. But according to the IBF rules, the fight can take place within 90 days. So Crawford could have another fight later this year if he wanted to defend all his straps, had he decided to go through with the purse bid. So, of course, people are going to say, Dan Rayfield broke the story, I believe. He's saying, you know, he can move up in weight. Yeah, of course. That was the plan all along for Top Rank. For Crawford, they weren't really interested in a Sergey Lipnets fight. But they would have definitely dragged their feet had Lipnets not opted to go to the immediate purse bid. They would have left Lipnets waiting and wondering when the fight was going to happen. So Lipnets outsmarted them. Well, they played chess, and they put Crawford and his team into a corner. And now Crawford is going to look bad. He's going to look like he want no parts of Sergey Lipnets. He better fight somebody legitimate his next fight. Dan Rafael's excuse was that why is he going to fight a low profile with Lipnets? Well, a bunch of Crawford's past fights have been low profile. 50K buys against Postal on pay-per-view with nobody watched. Felix Diaz was a low profile fight. Derry John was a low profile fight. Hank Lundy was a low profile fight. So what's the fucking difference? He's had a bunch of low profile fights. This would have been a full defense of all his titles against the #1 contender in Sergey Lipnets for the IBF. So we'll see what Crawford's next move is. The plan is to move up to welterweight, but he's not going to fight nobody legitimate for his first fight at welterweight. They're going to test the waters, let him feel him out at 147, and I'm hearing Mike Alvarado as his next opponent. Well, that's a name Bob Arum threw out there for his debut at welterweight. So that's a really bad look. If Crawford vacated to avoid a fight with Lipnets to fight bum-ass Wasteman and Mike Alvarado for his welterweight debut, I doubt he fights Jeff Horn next, even though Jeff Horn might be available since Manny Pacquiao is not on the same terms as usual with Bob Arum. The rematch may not take place this year, so Crawford needs a dance partner. Since Jeff Horn is available, Bob, why not make that fight next? But you want Crawford to test the waters, and you're talking about bringing him back sometime next year around the Super Bowl time, most likely on ESPN, and most likely not a top opponent. So there you go. Undisputed for 5 minutes, vacates his strap, gets no criticism, but he could have took the fight if he wanted. It's just that Bob Arum and his team wouldn't let him because they didn't want to lose that purse bid. But you better fight somebody better than Sergey Lipnets, dog. Well, he truly is a ducker. And the guy that vacates his straps. This is Boxing Truth. Mama.